History isn't just about kings, queens, and wars. In the depth of our world's history, there have been some crashouts. Hell, you can basically call any war a result of a crashout. No, it wouldn't be correct. For my audience that already know what a crashout is, skip to this time here. For those who don't know what a crashout means, according to the internet, what does a crashout mean? The slang term crashout means to lose control and freak out. If someone's crashing out, it means they've been broken to a point of an outburst. In most contexts, crashing out involves also heavy consequences, incarceration, and even the possibility of death. An example of a crashout would be King Von. Now, to my audience who doesn't know who King Von was, he was a rapper and a serial killer. Now, Von was a crashout. This man had so much beef in the rap game. If anybody were to just straight up diss King Von, he would not hesitate to just gun you down in the street. Like, this man didn't care for human lives at all. He did not care at all. He was more interested in the business of taking them than saving them. Enough being said, let's get on with the greatest historical crashouts of all time. Alright, let's kick this off with Gavrilo Princip, the poster child for accidental chaos. This man's crash out was so catastrophically stupid that it snowballed into a literal world war. Yes, and I'm talking about the First World War. Like, good job, man, good job. So who was this guy? Gavrilo Princip was a 19-year-old Bosnian Serb nationalist with some big ideas and even bigger delusions of grandeur. He was part of the Black Hand, a secret society of angry, edgy dudes who thought they could take down the Austro-Hungarian Empire and unite the South Slavs through terrorism. And if I'm being real here, this honestly now isn't even controversial in the Balkans. This is like the average middle school boys talking in the cafeteria. This is like locker talk for the boys in the Balkans. Like every day they're like, oh, we should take over Bosnia or something like that. Like, Kosovo to Serbia. If you know what that means, you know. It's now June 28, 1914 in Sarajevo. Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie decide to take a leisurely cruise through a city where there is just as popular as pineapple on pizza. They roll in slow speeds, open car, like they got a big red sign taped to the side that says, "Hey guys, shoot here." Now, enter the Black Hand Squad. These guys have one mission: take down the Archduke. They line up along the parade route like it's a mission straight out of Assassin's Creed. But here's the thing, they're all absolutely useless. The first guy freezes. He doesn't do a thing. He just quakes and he's like, "Oh, my timbers have been shivered." He just stops there. He just freezes. The next guy manages to lob a grenade, but whiffs it. It literally bounces off the back of Franz's car and explodes like 2 cars back, which honestly, you may think, oh, what great luck did Franz have? No, he did not have that luck until later in the day. He used all of that luck for the first attack. The rest of the day, well, he wasn't so fortunate. So, back to the Archduke. The Archduke is just chilling. He drives off. He just shrugs it off. The gall in this man is insane. He just drove off and was like, oh, what was that? Someone let off a firecracker or something. He did not care. At this point, you'd think the Black Hand will pack it up and call it a day. But Gavrilo? Nah, my man's just chilling in some cafe, downing snacks, probably eating a creme brulee. And he's thinking to himself, damn, we suck ass at this. How the hell we can even take down the Hungarian Empire? How we can even take down the Austro-Hungarians? It's impossible. If we can't fucking kill them, how are we going to do it? And then the universe decides to throw him the wildest bone in history. France's driver, in what can only be described as divine intervention of stupidity, makes a wrong turn and stops right in front of Gavrilo. And I'm talking about full on. Like, this guy is driving so slow, it's like they're pulling up to a McDonald's drive-thru. Picture this. Gavrilo and Sophie are just driving up and the driver's just there. He's like, "Hi, can I get a Big Mac, some large fries, and a Coke?" And Gavrilo doesn't hesitate. He pulls out his pistol, goes pop pop at 2 shots, just like that. Franz and Sophie are gone. No more Archduke. and no more Sophie. They are gone. They were sent back to spawn. They were sent to the lobby. They're gone. They are not coming back. Now let's be clear. This wasn't a masterclass in assassination. Gavrilo didn't meticulously plan some 4D chess. This was blind luck, just pure blind luck, and a dash of fuck it, we ball. And what happened was absolute chaos. Austria-Hungary loses it. Without the leadership of the Archduke, they were lost. And after they immediately captured Gavrilo, well, he tried to escape. They caught him pretty fast. He was revealed to be a Serbian nationalist. And what does Austria do? They decide to declare war on Serbia. And Russia decides to back up Serbia. Germany backs Austria-Hungary. France and the UK jump in. And before you know it, World War I is ripping through Europe like a bad email chain. There's deaths everywhere. There's a reason it was called the Great War. And hell, people believed it would be the last world war. They were fucking wrong. Very wrong. The body count? Over 20 million. Entire empires are wiped off the map. And when I mean empires, I'm talking about the Ottoman Empire and specifically, they're gone. After World War I, they were fucking diminished. They were gone. The world at this time, after the First World War, it was left scarred forever. Like hell. Even the earth is still scarred from the First World War. If you go to France, in the countryside, you can still see where the trenches were. And I'll pull up a picture just for, if you don't believe me, I'll just pull up a picture. Now, if you're wondering, well, what happened to Gavrilo? Where is he? What happened if he got caught for assassinating the Archduke? Well, he doesn't even get the satisfaction of a quick death. Instead, they toss his ass into prison. Why? Because under the Austro-Hungarian laws, he was too young for execution. So, he spends the entire war rotting away in a cell. And here's the fucked up part. This guy ends up developing tuberculosis while in prison. So, not only is he just wasting away in a cell, he is literally dying from inside from tuberculosis. He's like literally rotting away. And he probably thought to himself, well, what was the point? This was for nothing. I wasted my time. He's dead, but the world is in fucking chaos. There was no revolution as I expected, it's just all-out war. In the end, Gavrilo Princip's crashout was the historical equivalent of lighting a match to check if there's gas in the tank. And this guy turned bad aim, bad driver, and some luck from fucking Satan, cause I can't explain his luck, into the most destructive domino effect in history. If you want a reminder that small actions can have massive consequences, Princip should appear right on the first search when you search up this saying, that small actions have big consequences, cause, well, he's the fucking prime example. Let's talk about my guy, John Brown, my GOAT. This man didn't just crash out. He crashed out harder than Vaughn could have ever imagined. At this time, Americans knew slavery was an issue, but nobody had the balls to really take the fight to the slavers. Everyone would just write letters to Congress, and Congress would practically just play trash can basketball with those letters. Then came along John Brown. He forcibly opened everyone's eyes up to the truth like something straight out of Far Cry 5. Now, Kansas in the 1850s was America's version of Fight Club in real life. Pro-slavery and anti-slavery groups were duking it out to see who'd control the territory. And Brown didn't just join the fight, he brought the chaos. Born in 1800, John Brown grew up in a deeply religious family, where his father's strong anti-slavery values shaped him early on. But it wasn't just about religion. He witnessed firsthand the horrors of slavery. And growing up that way, it left Brown growing up with a deep hatred of slavery. He had a fire in his eyes. He wanted to see the institution that allowed slavery to burn.
Hey, I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress.
As a young John grew up, he didn't just talk about ending slavery. He was determined to destroy it. While other abolitionists were writing letters to Congress or holding peaceful protests, John looked at them. Brown practically said, That's cute and all, writing letters, but nothing's happening. Why don't we just kill them ourselves? I know where they live. They're right across the street. Why don't we just walk over there, make sure they take a nap forever. Brown wasn't just sitting around hoping for change. He was out here making it happen, no matter the cost. One night in 1856 at Potawatomi Creek, John Brown and his crew went straight into the heart of enemy territory. This was during the violence-ridden days of Bleeding Kansas, where pro-slavery and anti-slavery groups were at war for control of the territory. Brown, fueled by rage and a deep sense of justice, knew the only way to send a message was with blood. He targeted 5 pro-slavery men who had been involved in the previous attacks against the abolitionists. No questions asked, Brown and his followers dragged them out of their homes, hacked them to death with broadswords. It was ruthless, and the brutality shook the nation. Some saw it as justified given the circumstances. Others, though, thought that Brown had crossed the line. Either way, he wasn't just responding to the violence, he was escalating and making sure that everyone knew he was ready to do whatever it took to stop slavery. And well, if you're wondering, how could it have been that he managed to kill them with broadswords like his medieval ages? Well, to any of my viewers who had the unfortunate experience of being shown a cartel execution video while in middle school, you will be familiar about how gory and grotesque and fucking horrific those videos are. You can imagine the absolutely horrific sight of the aftermath. And if you thought this was just it, there is more to come. The true test of John Brown's conviction came in 1859 with the raid on Harper's Ferry. This time, John Brown wasn't just fighting for control of a territory, he was going straight for the heart of the system. He and a squad of 21 men, both black and white, attacked a federal arsenal at Harper's Ferry, Virginia. Brown's plan was bold: seize the weapons, arm enslaved people, and spark a rebellion that would overthrow slavery across the South. It was a bold vision, but it didn't go as planned. Instead of a full-scale uprising, Brown's raid turned into chaos. The local militia quickly surrounded them, and the U.S. Marines. Yes, the Marines. This was before they were crayon eaters, but still, it's the fucking Marines. They were led by Robert E. Lee, and no, it's not the car from Duke of Hazzards, but the Confederate general himself. Well, this was before he was the Confederate general. He stormed in to end the rebellion. Most of Brown's men were either killed or captured, and Brown himself was taken as a prisoner. At his trial, Brown didn't back down. He stood firm, declaring that he would do it all over again for men ending slavery. He was executed on December 2, 1859. But his actions lit a fire under the North and terrified the South. While his raid didn't end slavery right then and there, it set the stage for the Civil War. So was John Brown a hero or a madman? The answer is yes, he was both. The man saw injustice, grabbed a rifle and said, "If no one else is going to do something, I will." And here's the thing, he had some of the most greatest and valid crashouts in history. The man didn't crash over some petty beef or personal slight. He did it for freedom, equality, and the abolition of a system so cruel, it demanded the likes of someone like him to stand up and say, "No more."
Oh ho ho, Merry Christmas.
So that's my impression of Santa Claus. Alright, now let's talk about the most final and unexpected crash out in history, St. Nicholas, or as many know him today, Santa Claus. You're probably wondering, how in the world does a jolly gift giver end up on a list like this? Well, sit down, because this one's going to surprise you. First things off, St. Nicholas wasn't the hot-headed, reckless type you expect from a crash out. He was no Vaughn. He was a peaceful, generous man who dedicated his life to helping the poor and spreading kindness. This is the guy who gave away his entire fortune to help those in need, saved children from slavery, and inspired the modern-day legend of Santa Claus. He's a saint in every sense of the word. And yes, he's an actual saint. But even saints have the breaking point. The incident I'm about to tell you took place in the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD. One of the most pivotal moments in Christian history. The council gathered to settle a rather huge theological debate. Was Jesus Christ really divine and equal to the Father? Or was he simply a creation, a messenger, not fully God? This debate centered around Arius, a priest from Libya who was promoting the idea that Jesus wasn't divine. He denied the Holy Trinity, claiming Jesus was created by God, therefore not his equal. Now Arius wasn't leading the council, but he was just one of the many bishops sharing their views. His teachings caused a firestorm, and for St. Nicholas, that was the last straw. St. Nicholas had to sit during the entire council of Nicaea, listening to Arius babble on and just talk absolute crap about his religion and his faith. This wasn't just an intellectual debate for Saint Nick. This was a direct attack on the core of his faith, and in a moment that shocked everyone in the room, Saint Nicholas walked up to Arius and, well, he decked the shit out of him in front of everyone. I'm talking about a full-on slap, of divine conviction. Arius probably didn't even see it coming. One moment, he's just standing there arguing this point. Next moment, boom. Nicholas hit him with the right hand of a god. The room went silent. The bishops were stunned. They immediately stripped Nicholas of his position, threw him into prison for his behavior. But here's where it gets wild. While in prison, Nicholas reportedly had a vision of Jesus and Mary, and they asked him, "Why are you in prison, child?" And Nicholas explained why he was in jail, what he did, and they told him, "What you did was correct, but it wasn't in the right way. You should have done it peacefully." So he spent the entire night reciting prayers and basically paying for his sin. And supposedly, they handed him back his bishop robes, essentially saying, "You did the right thing." Eventually, the council restored him to his position, and his actions became legendary. Now, I'm not saying deck and so on is the best way to win an argument, but let's be honest, Arius probably deserved it. As a Roman Catholic myself, I completely understand where Saint Nick was coming from. He wasn't out here looking for a fight, but sometimes when someone challenges the very foundation of your beliefs, you gotta stand up. If I were there, I don't think I would have stopped at a slap. I would have pummeled Arius until the guards took me away. Santa Claus wasn't just only the jolly man in a red suit. Remember, this was a man also of unshakable faith who stood up for what he believed in. Even if it meant crashing out at one of the most important councils in Christian history, and honestly, I think we can all respect that. Okay guys, that's gonna be it. This is Frisky Hyena signing off. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. And if this video does well, I plan to make a part 2 to this, hopefully, series. Have a wonderful holiday season, people. Frisky out.